Welcome to Empowered Abundance. I'm Lori. So we are starting foundational principles for how to live fully alive. And there's a couple things that I wanted to remind you guys of or explain to you before I give you principle number one. So the first thing I want you to remember is that you don't have to get these just by listening to this one video. These are your basic principles, and then you're going to practice them and practice them and practice them. And one of the things that I always tell my clients is until we're walking on water, we get to keep practicing. So these are things that you're never going to master overnight. You may not master them in your entire lifetime, but when we get cognitively that these are the foundations of a happy, healthy, fulfilling life, then we just build from there. But believe it or not, you guys, sometimes either people have never heard that these are how to incorporate the non-physical with the physical, or sometimes you guys, we forget. And we have to be reminded. There's so many times that I'll be listening to a book or another coach or something, and I'll go, oh my gosh, I knew that, but I haven't been living that, or I haven't been implementing that in my life, right? So I just want you to keep in mind that these are just our core principles that we are going to continue to build on for life, really. Okay, so, and there was one more that I was going to say, but I don't remember what it is. So I'll just go on, and I'm sure I'll come back and remember what else I was going to tell you guys to get started. But so principle number one. Are you guys ready? Oh, here's the other thing I was going to tell you. These are not in any particular order. So just because this is principle number one doesn't mean it's the most important. All of these principles are foundation. So it doesn't matter if it's in the left corner or the right corner or this part of the foundation, it's all the foundation as a whole. So, so don't look at number one and go, oh, that's the most important. Nope. All of them are super important. Okay. Principle number one, you are not your thoughts. Okay. I want to go to such a simple element of these principles that you can't argue or get confused or wonder, is that really true? Here's you and here's your thoughts. If your thoughts were you, it would be this and there would only be you. If you were your thoughts, then it would be here and it would only be your thoughts. Simply the fact that we can say the words, you are not your thoughts, is proof in itself that you are not your thoughts, right? How many times have you been telling a story? Oh, so-and-so just told me this. You guys, those are thoughts that went through your mind that came out your mouth as a sentence and a story to someone else. You are not those thoughts. Our thoughts are an accumulation of how we were raised, what we hear on TV, what we hear in the media. And sometimes we've either heard it so much or we've thought it enough that we think it's our own, when in reality, it came from someone else. So a little bit later on, we're going to really differentiate between thoughts and beliefs and intuition and unpack that a little bit more. But as our foundation, I just want you guys to cognitively get, I am not my thoughts. Therefore, when you have a thought like, and this was one of my ultimate famous, I always like to tell this story to my clients because a lot of people who didn't know me before I kind of made this life change think that I've always been just super happy and super nice. And well, I guess I was always super happy and super nice, but I was also super angry and hateful. And so every once in a while when I make a statement about a thought that I think and people go, what? Lori, you think that thought? Yes. And it used to drive me to a point of despair because I thought that my thoughts were me. And that if I thought a thought like that, what did that say about me? And now I'm super free to say, hey, just the other day, I was so mad at my husband and I wanted to pick up a fork and pluck out his eyeball, right? Because again, that was my thought. That's not me. That's not my heart. That's not who I am. It was a thought that went through my head. And this was quite a while ago, but we were having an argument and I was angry and I felt disempowered in that exchange. And all I knew was that I wanted to either get my point across or I would say almost even win. And all I knew was if I could hurt him, if I could pluck out his eye, if I could do something, I could get the upper hand, right? And before, that would have really scared me that, oh, do I have the capacity to do that? Would I really do that? I should take away all the forks out of the house. No, it's just a thought. And if we actually look at a thought as something that's not us, we can actually let that thought go as quickly as it came in. Right? So there's going to be some strategies that we're going to talk about later on about what to do with these principles. But that's just a really small example of really the shifts that we can make in our life from disempowerment to empowerment when we recognize that we are not our thoughts. You are you and your thoughts are your thoughts. And that's good news. All right, so principle number 1, we're done. So again, I'm going to be coming at you 10 or 12 principles. Yeah, and we'll just see how this rolls. So we'll see you tomorrow.